Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Mike Stansbury, and today I have a special guest all the way from California, Thomas Chappell Jr. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. I do appreciate you pronouncing the name correctly.
Well, you know what? I had a couple options there, and I could have butchered it pretty well. But real quick, we have to pay the bill. So at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted and allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. Thomas, tell us a little bit about your origin story. How did you get started in real estate? What were you doing before, and then kind of what set you on the path of educating people in real estate, doing deals? What's that look like?
Well, what got me into real estate, it was the fact that I was able to spend time with my son. I was a single dad. As I was growing up, I didn't finish high school. I went to junior college and I screwed that off, and then I had kids and had child support issues and things like that. So here I am in my late 40s, and I'm like, corporate America's not going to accept me anymore. So let me do something. So I was living in Vegas at the time, and I heard the commercial about fortune builders. So I said, okay, I've been hearing about it, so this is not the first time. So let me go check it out, see if they really serious or not. So I went to the 2-hour thing, and all it was selling you to come and pay to come to their 3 days. So I paid the $200. It was $197, and I went, and I learned a lot out of it, but I just never joined. They wanted $25,000 at the time, and I had it, but I said, nah, I don't think so. So I ended up moving to California. So when I got to California, I Googled investors, and true story, one guy came up, didn't know who he was, and the next one was about the Norris Group. Didn't know anything about Norris and didn't know anything about Bruce Norris and things like that. So I asked the reception, who can I speak to about investing, and she gave me Aaron Norris. And I spoke to Aaron Norris for 45 minutes, and if you get to talk to me more, you know I like the sound of my own voice. So I did all the talking. So Aaron Norris listened to me for 45 minutes, and he says, I really don't have a program. I can't take you up under my wing, but I got somebody for you. And that's what launched my career in real estate. So I've had dozens of mentors that groomed me into this to have me to become what I am and made me want to be able to teach, because coming from my background, like I said, didn't finish school, didn't think I was going to amount to anything, and seeing what I can accomplish here, that's why I love teaching.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
That's great. So you were curious about real estate and you went to a seminar, but you were like, you know what, there's something else. I'm going to stay curious. I'm going to find out who's doing the investing. And this is a nugget for our listeners. So many people just listen to podcasts and they listen and they listen. They never take action. But you're the type of person that took action and was like, hey, I need a mentor. And that mentor, you said, led to other mentors. So with that being said, as you're going through on this journey, what are some of the things that you learned that were some aha moments, and maybe some mentors, what different mentors taught you at different times during your real estate and teaching career?
Well, the biggest part is that believing in myself, because you got to understand, when you have that mentality that you don't matter and nobody's going to take a chance on you, and you hearing, well, okay, you can use other people's money, you're like, okay, yeah, right, for real. When that came into fruition, that made me become a believer based on that fact, because I wasn't sure. Because I'm like, who's going to trust me with their money? I said, I know how I was back in the day with money. I didn't, squander it. But the fact is, I've always had myself in debt. So it's like now somebody that I don't know showed me how I can achieve a goal. And that's when that aha moment came in, and that's where I drunk the Kool-Aid.
Right. Yeah. So you had that moment where you learned about other people's money, and then you were able to say, "Hey, I'll be a fiduciary. I can take care of that." And so you did that. And yeah, tell us about a couple deals that you've done and the success on that, and or just something maybe creative. I'll let this be a choose your own adventure, Thomas. But tell us a fun story about a deal that you've done in real estate and what you learned from it.
Well, one of the biggest deals is that I started off wholesaling like most of the people do, because you really didn't have any funds. And my first wholesale deal, I teamed up with this gentleman. He said, okay, fine. So he saw it, he liked it, said, oh, you're going to get $5,000. I'm going to give you $5,000. I'm so stoked you're going to get $5,000. But when the dust settled, I got $2,500. Now I was pretty peeved, not because of the money, it's because he kept telling me I'm getting $5,000, and he turned around and gave me 25. So what I told myself at the time is that this is not the last time I'm going to see that kind of money. Now, $2,500 is not a lot of money, but when you don't have money, it makes it become a lot of money. So that was one of the things that I did, and I found out how my investors buy and what they buy, because it took me 2 years. When I found out what they buy and how they buy, man, I was putting out, offers anywhere between 100 and 200 offers a month. So when you put that many offers back then, the market was way better. It's better than what it is now. And when you're putting out that many offers, you dribble and shoot, something's going to come along. And we bought a lot of deals based on that fact. I mean, it can happen. You got to believe it, but you got to go out there and get into the trenches. You got to make it happen. So that's what I end up doing, and that's what I loved about it, that I had that resistance, because here I am already 50 years old. Corporate America's not going to take me, so this is my last resort. At the time, my son was 11 years old. So I had to do this because I had nowhere else to go.
So yeah, so that's a good driver of like, things got to happen, and then I've got to make it happen. But you did what most people are, they miss this step, is you have to begin with the end in mind. Who is your end buyer? You focused on what they wanted, and you started making offers on those properties, and you got deals to the table, which is how you get the ball in the end zone.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as you're doing that, then you get a love for teaching people. And so tell us about that. So, what kind of student would do really well with you? And tell us about your love for teaching about real estate to other individuals, and is it more of a mentor, or do you have a paid program, or what's that look like?
It's more of a mentor. I mean, I get a kick out of watching how people really shine when they figure out something. I want to do this, but you're really not sure how to go by it, because anybody can show you or teach you, but it's really up to you. And then knowing, because I coach sports, so that's one of my loves of teaching. And when you watch a person blossom, you don't expect them to be exactly like you, but at least you instilled a part of yourself into them and watch them blossom. It makes you want to do it more. And the basis of it is, not only do I teach real estate, but I teach life, because we all have challenges in life. And the fact of the matter is being able to overcome. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my biggest things is, believing in the Heavenly Father and being able to live my truth. And that's one thing that I do. I tell my truth. I'm not afraid of the moment anymore. I used to be, but no longer.
So, okay, you made the connection to sports. I got to ask, because sometimes we go in different directions on this podcast. So what is the sport that you loved coaching the most?
It was football and track. I wasn't that great at b-ball, basketball, but I played it. But football and track is my love. Actually, I did want to once upon a time become a professional football player. I actually went to a professional tryout camp, and got my name in the paper, front page of a local newspaper. So that was an achieving goal in itself, and I never expected something like that. So, yes, I love it.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
That's awesome. All right, so are you still do you still like the professional or college football? What is your preference there?
It's all professional. College has too many teams. I can't do it. It's too many.
Every time I meet somebody from California that's a football fan, that's kind of their mantra. They like the pros, and then from where we're SEC country over here, and so everybody loves college football a lot more than the NFL. I'm sure that there's a lot of just rabid NFL fans around here. The closest that we have is, the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. But we have a lot of college football fans. But I am the same way. I think that real estate is a full contact sport, and you constantly have to be motivated. You have to be coached up, and you have to do the fundamentals, every day. And I think that I like that you liken this to sports. Because there's really no secret sauce in this stuff. It's just you got to do the fundamentals.
And the one thing people don't understand is, and what I found out coming up, your network is your network. Your work is your net worth.
Right.
So the more you network, and it doesn't have to just be to real estate. It could be anything you in life, because the more you network, you find out there's people that be willing to invest into your dream. You know what I'm saying? I tell people when I mentor them, have you ever seen the show Shark Tank? He said, yeah. I said, okay, then understand. Somebody brought a product to them, and they're taking a gamble on investing into your product. Now, not all the panelists agree to invest in your product, but somebody there believes it. It just takes one. It don't have to be all of them. It could just be one. And you can become successful as long as you have the plan in place. That's the key.
Yeah, I find that to be true, especially when you're using other people's money in real estate. When you have a deal and somebody that in your network, right? And they have maybe a good bit of capital, and they want to invest it. They want to put it in things that have a return. And if they know you and they trust you and they like you and the deal works, then you'll never have a problem with finding money for deals, because if you especially, and again the linchpin is, are you going to do what you say you're going to do? Are you going to perform? Is the asset going to perform? But you're right. Your net worth is your net worth, right? I struggle with it too. So, but it's absolutely true. So we mentioned earlier you're in the California market. What is the California market? What cities do you have you invested in before, and kind of what's the lay of the land look like right now?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Well, I'm in the Inland Empire, so basically, when you got contractors, you don't want to take them outside of their comfort area because then they'll leave you if you got a good contractor, so I would stand in the Inland Empire, Now, I used to live in Atlanta, Georgia, so I do know the Tennessee area, I'm originally from Bronx, New York, South Bronx, New York, and my mother moved us from New York, and then she moved us to Los Angeles. I hated L.A., so I left L.A. and moved to Phoenix, and I left Phoenix, moved to Vegas, left Vegas, moved to Atlanta, and then came back to Vegas, and now I'm back in California in Riverside. So, and I've never been in the military, so.
Yeah, that's a lot of moving for non-military, right?
But the fact is that I had to find my place of peace. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, I had no choice. But I wanted my place of peace in this world so I can be successful in spite of all of my hoops and hurdles that I had to overcome. And that's one of the things. So when I got here, it's been a blessing. I've already been on that entrepreneur mind, but really my boots on the ground was here where I ended up writing a book. And they told me I'm dyslexic and not a good reader. So how am I able to accomplish these things? And then now, my fiance and I just started a nonprofit, where we're going to be giving back and helping foster kids that are already transitioning out of the system to help them become homeowners by the time they're 25 and 30 years old.
Wow. So that's interesting. So you're giving back when it comes to foster kids, especially. You can imagine growing up in that type of environment and not having any stability. Knowing what a house can do, or what homeownership can help, provide a foundation for those kids as they grow up. That's really, really neat. So Thomas, where can people find you? Actually, I want to talk about this. You did a radio show for a while. Did you do that in Atlanta or in your market now, or where did that exist at?
It just existed here in California. It was in the radio station was in Redlands, California, and a young lady, her name is Marie. She came to me and said, "I would like for you to do this," and I'm like, I don't know, but she came back again, and I did it. And the one thing is like, well, you're gonna have to pay for your own slot. I'm like, you want me to do your show, but I got to pay for my own slot, but. The funny part was she says, well, if you go ahead and get your guests to pay, then you won't have to worry about it. So I did it for 2 years, and I enjoyed it. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. And it was called The Real Men of Real Estate, hosted by me, Thomas F. Chappell Jr. You can Google me. You can go on Roku and look at my previous shows. You can go on Amazon. Was it Amazon? No. Apple Television, as well as to YouTube. You can find the show. Also, I have a real estate investment club, which is on hiatus. It's called Black Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. Well, Inland Empire is where I'm at, and the reason why it's called Black because I'm the Black host who hosts it, but everybody's been invited, so it's been very, very successful and everything like that. So those are the things that I have done in real estate, and my whole point is that since I became what I became, I want to give back and give others the same opportunities to realize what their potential is, that they can become the very best version of themselves.
Awesome.
No matter how old you are.
No matter how, listen, it's never over until you're dead. Come on.
Well, exactly.
And then it just begins for some people. Well, here it is. So the Real Men of Real Estate Talk. So tell me about maybe a guest on your show that was a fun guest or a fun story from that time as a radio host. Do you remember somebody that was just kind of, wow, that was out there?
Well, no, because all of them were. I done had some people break down and start crying because of reminiscing, because the things that I asked, and the one thing I've always asked before the show ended was, if you can go back and talk to yourself when you were younger, what would you tell yourself? Because everybody grows up and want to become something. And some that go to college, they get their degree, and then eventually they not even working in that degree's position. They working doing something totally different, and now they're angry because they're not doing what they really wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I ask, is that if you had the opportunity to go back and talk to your younger self, what would you tell it? And that's the most funnest thing I did, because all these people brought something different to the table, so I can't just pinpoint one.
Right. So you drew them out. You drew their childhood out, and that's always nostalgic. And I could see how it can, bring out of emotion. So let me ask you this, Thomas. What would you say to yourself at 8 years old?
I would tell myself, you know what? I'm going to be great. You know why? Because coming up from where I came up, I mean, we all got that story. We all of us didn't have a silver spoon in our mouths, whether we did or didn't. But there was tragedy that happened in your life. Whether you had both parents or a single parent, there was always some form of tragedy. And then you got peer pressure. When you get older, peer pressure is a big thing in life. And we end up doing things that we wouldn't normally do. You know what I'm saying? So I was raised by a single mother that was a very strong woman. I don't drink. I don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? So
was that because of her influence, or was she just ran a tight ship like that, or what do you ascribe that to?
That's both. She ran a tight ship, and also it was the influence part. And the thing is I saw a lot of stuff that happened in other people's lives that I said, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest things but the thing is like I said, it made me become a better person. I knew I had a lot of drive in me, but because I didn't feel like I had the right criteria, that I was a failure, and not knowing that later on down in life that this would occur. It's basically when I was ready to hear the voice of God, when I changed. Back then when I was younger, I was young, dumb, and stupid. Didn't want to hear, just have fun, party, chase girls, and see what that got me. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing is I finally listened, and my son came in my life, and I said, I don't want him to be like me. I want him to supersede me. You know what I'm saying? So the only way he can do that is that I embrace. So when I got into real estate, he was young. I brought him to the table with me. So he saw me make deals. He saw me raise money. He saw me make money. So now he knows what that looks like, to where he can become anything he wants to. I told him, I don't want you to follow in my footsteps. I want you to be whatever you want. I support it, but supersede me by any means necessary.
Thomas, that's great. And I think that's a really fantastic way to kind of wind this thing down, is that you're doing this thing for your kid, for your son, to propel him. And, I always thought it was interesting that our culture says, yeah, you want to follow in the footsteps of your parents. And your parents want you to be, they want you to go further on than, they don't want you to be behind you. They want you to be way in front. And so I think that's neat. That's what's motivating you. So, hey, Thomas, where can everybody find out more about you online? I know about you've got the radio show that's online. The old backup episodes are, but how else can we find you online?
Well, you can Google me. I hate social media, but you can find me on social media, or you can just contact me directly by email me at thomaschappell33@yahoo.com. Once again, that's THOMAS, C like Charles, H like Harry, A like Apple, P like Paul, P like Paul, E like Edward, L like Larry, 33@yahoo.com. Or you can contact me at area code 404-844-1828. Once again, that's area code 404-844-1828. I love talking real estate all day, so don't matter. Just call me up and we can chit chat. If you local, we can meet somewhere. If not, I love to talk abroad. I know a lot of people all over the world. I have great mentors that I can recommend you to. I do a thing called barter trading. If you know about barter trading, I do that. I do a whole lot of things now that I would never imagine that I would be doing if I hadn't gotten into real estate.
Yeah, it's the gateway drug, isn't it, to entrepreneurship? Well, Thomas, thank you for being part of the Real Estate Pros Podcast. Folks, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.